Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo spearheaded a follow-up two-day visit to Region 6, where he officially launched the part-time jobs and small business grants initiatives and announced some $300 million in fertilizer support for farmers. This is part of government's efforts to cushion the effects of rising cost of living throughout the country. On Thursday, June 2, the Part-Time Jobs Initiative, which will see some 3,000 persons in the region benefiting, was launched at the New Amsterdam Technical Institute.
In Berbice, we've identified close to 3,000 persons who shall be working in this region. Now, if you know one thing about us, we will forge ahead and do whatever it takes to change people's lives in this country. So I'm not deterred by the negative comments we've received about this program. When I came back from Linden, the opposition leader and one of their MPs called Mahi Paul, they went on television and said, why are we hiring people on temporary jobs? Well, these are not temporary jobs. They're part-time jobs, not temporary. This can go on for many years. They think that it's a one-year contract. So let me clarify that right away, that this contract doesn't end in a single year. Once you get onto the program, it stays for a number of years. So it's part-time jobs, not temporary jobs. And the program is you work for about 10 days per week, per month, for $40,000. We know that many people can find better jobs, and we're hoping that they will use this as a stepping stone to finding better jobs. But in the short term, when they don't have employment, this would help a lot. And as I said before, in Linden and in Essequibo, that we expect all of you who are on this program to utilize the other opportunities provided by the government of Guyana to study, to upgrade yourselves. Because any person who wants to do an online scholarship from this group or anywhere in the country, the government will pay for their studies.
The Vice President also met with beneficiaries of the program at several other locations, including the tarmac of the University of Guyana Tain campus, as well as the tarmac of the Classic International Hotel. He also made it clear that persons with disabilities are not excluded from the program. A 10-member committee was established to work along with the Ministries of Agriculture and Finance and regional authorities to decide on which crops can be cultivated on some 35,000 acres of land in Region 6. This decision was made during a meeting hosted by Dr. Jagdeo with farmers to examine how the government can assist them with a venture, which is expected to create employment for approximately 3,000 persons in the region.
We want to work on a single project that will bring all 30 or 35,000 acres of land into production. We need to find today, through the discussion, as well as for the investigation, what are the most beneficial crops or activities that we can put these lands into, given the market situation, and then what it will take from the government side to put in place the incentive for people to utilize the land. So I wanted everyone to be here, particularly not just the big guys, but also the members of the co-op and stuff like that, because if we're doing for the co-op, we want all the members of the co-op to ultimately benefit.
On Friday, June 3, the VP at number 63 Village announced that farmers in the region will soon benefit from $300 million in fertilizer support.
The President has announced a package of incentives for farmers, some help for farmers. $1 billion for assistance to buy fertilizer. The reason this has been done is based on representation from our people when we traveled across the country. Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and here in 6. Many of the farmers have argued that the price of fertilizer, in spite of the fact that when the PPP got into office, we removed the tax that APNU had put on fertilizer, the 14% VAT. In spite of that, the prices went up. And we've had to explain to people that oil prices, because oil and gas is the base for fertilizer industry. So every time crude oil goes up, the price of fertilizer and everything else goes up. And oil prices have moved from $28 in 2015 per barrel of crude oil. Today it's $120 per barrel. So it's a steep climb, largely because, and of recent, it's largely been because of the war in Ukraine. And so once fertilizer, oil prices go up, fertilizer will go up. We removed the taxes on gasoline and diesel. It was 50% tax, it's down to 0 now. But there is nothing that we can do because the price has gone up. So we recognize that fertilizer is a big input into agriculture and particularly into the rice industry. And if people have to spend more on fertilizer, it will cut their profit margins. So we wanted to do something to help, and that is why we've set aside this sum of money.
A 20-member committee was also formed to determine how the fertilizer would be procured and distributed among the farmers. The Vice President said the establishment of the committee would ensure the equitable distribution of the fertilizer and prevent attempts by persons who do not qualify for the support from depriving those in need. Over at the Albion Community Center ground, the Vice President also announced that close to 400 persons will benefit from small business grants to the tune of $250,000 as he officially launched the initiative in that region.
In the short term, we've launched this temporary employment program, and we've launched this program to support business development. So we want people to start earning on their own, to give them small grants. It's not a large amount of money. In some regions, they're using it, like in region 10, a lot on chicken. They do a lot of chicken, and if 250,000 was enough to build a pen, buy the feed, and get 100 probably chicks from which they can grow. Some others are using it to support other ventures. So I'm hoping that you would utilize these small business grants to create employment for yourselves, and hopefully your business with government support in the future can grow. We want to be supportive so people can do better and create more jobs, and we have more entrepreneurs. Whilst we are working now to shift more of the economic activities to the outlying regions like Berbice, we're starting to push the oil and gas companies to invest in the area north of the bridge. So that once you start getting the infrastructure, the wharves and everything built out there, you're gonna see thousands of new jobs in this region.
The Vice President also took the opportunity to visit several communities in the region, among them Little India, Little Africa, Crabwood Creek, Belvedere, Kilcoy, Chesney, and Number 54 Village. The Vice President said some $4 billion has been allocated for infrastructure in the region. From this allocation, the villages will benefit from concrete roads and improved drainage. The VP said persons from the communities will be employed to execute the projects.